course it was a bit more serious this time because it's about Aatami's family and it's about Aatami's home and a guy who has actually killed his whole family.
It's one of my favorite films that I've seen at the festival. It's so good. It was so much fun, and the audience was great. Like everyone loved it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the show myself and watching and hearing the audience reactions. It was so cool.
There's a certain part with logs and another vehicle that people just blew up at. They were just like, that was the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Thanks.
But first question for you. I think it's awesome how this film raises the stakes from the first. Can you tease the audiences kind of how it does that and what decisions led you to go in that direction?
Well, I think it's important to have something like emotional for Aatami to do, which is all that he has left is his home, and he wants to take it back to Finland. It was basically like because it's more emotional than a bag of gold, what we had in the first one, and also so much more difficult to move. So when I had that idea, I was certain that it will itself like start to build cool action because it's so hard to move and it's so precious. So I think it really worked.
I really was impressed by just like that escalation, and I was like, yeah, I'm in it, and just seeing how he handles all that, I was like, yes, let's go. The movie has such a visceral feel to it. When approaching how this movie is going to feel and look, what would you say your mission statement was, and what you wanted to achieve at the end of the day?
Well, that was one of the challenges because I've always done my films in a really like big locations, like in the mountains or in a like really remote places. But the problem with those kind of places is that you can't blow everything up there because there's a lot of like rules and stuff.
Yeah, there's those pesky rules.
Yeah, so I needed to be somewhere where we can do what we need to do, but the key thing for the visual approach was to have like an open landscape, like similar in Sisu 1, like just open wide places where for some reason I like to be on those kind of places, like the exact opposite of this room.
Yeah. This is a wide open room. What do you feel, so with this sequel, what do you feel you were able to achieve with it that you just either never had the chance to do in the first one or that you just weren't able to?
That is the speed. Like I really wanted to have a lot of movement, that basically we are constantly moving in this film with different like planes and motorcycles, whatever. And I always wanted to do a film with have a lot of movement and speed, and that was my goal.
Yeah. What I find so interesting about this series is they're incredibly intelligent in how the action sequences, how they're choreographed, how everything plays out. And then there's the added depth of like a lot of it is pretty realistic, but obviously some of it isn't. And so what is that balance of like when you choose to be like, all right, we're going to make this, as close to realism as we can. And then when do you break that and go, we want an outrageous moment. We want him to just do whatever.
I don't know where it comes from. It's just like it is how it is. But I think the weird mixture of being sometimes very serious with like basically everything what's got to do with Aatami's family and his house is really serious and but then I can mix it with like really weird action scenes and I'm amazed myself also that how well it works because it could not work also.
Well, I think that's when stuff like that works, it's so magical because it's so
Yeah.
easy for that not to work.
Yeah.
But so when it does, it's like, oh, this is amazing. And I noticed with this second film, it did feel to lean more into those outrageous moments. Was that a purposeful choice on your end that you wanted some more of that, or is that just how it all played out?
Well, I didn't try anything. Like it just came out like it did.
The sequel has, you know, double the budget of the original movie. How did that open new doors for you in both, you know, action sequences
I
and
think it's
storytelling?
triple.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So then, how did that open new doors for you, just with the action, but also just storytelling?
Well, of course, it gave me more options of like, for instance, have more SFX and VFX, which really like change also the way how I'm writing. Like that now I have means to actually do something like this or that, and it gives more freedom to do.
Yeah. How do you, so this movie focuses now on the Soviet Union compared to the first one, which was with the Nazis. How do you feel that changed the overall vibe of the movie?
I don't know. Of course, it was a bit more serious this time because it's about Aatami's family and it's about Aatami's home and a guy who has actually killed his whole family with an iron shovel. So
Not happy-go-lucky stuff.
yeah, it changes the mood a bit,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to explain it. It's yeah.
And people are quick to compare movies, like, you know, when you have a really great, awesome action hero, people will be like, oh, like John Wick. So I'm curious for you, what are the key differences between those two characters? If someone were to walk up to you and be like, oh, Sisu's just like John Wick, what is your like, well, I don't know, this guy's much better, like, what are the differences there?
What would be a good way to say this so that I don't.
Yeah, no
It's
dissing
basically,
John
if I
Wick.
would compare them as tools, like Aatami is like a sledgehammer, and John Wick is like a Swiss Army knife or something like that.
I mean, I think that's a pretty good analogy. I have to ask, you know, have you had any conversations about Sisu 3? Are we going to keep this guy going on his journeys?
Well, I have some ideas, but I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Hypothetically, right? What is something that you would still love to explore with this character? Is there a setting, location, or just some facet of his personality that we just really haven't seen yet?
Yeah, I honestly don't know where I would put him the next time, but it has to be even more brutal and there's a lot of things to be discovered. I don't know.
This movie introduces Stephen Lang's big villain. Can you talk about creating that character and how you wanted him to stand out in different ways from what the first movie offered?
Yeah, I think I find it really interesting that he's an old dude, like, because my first idea was that he would be like much younger and like a more physical threat, like a kind of a muscle guy. But actually him being old like Aatami, it really felt good. And we talked a lot about with slang about the how he is and why he is how he is, like that he's not like evil. He hasn't been like evil. It wasn't his idea to have this war or do all the shit he needed to be done. But it changed him in a way because he's been doing so much bad things that it starts to change you.
Last question for you. You know, making a film is obviously a process. There's a lot of challenges. But for you, at any point in the process, whether it's before cameras were rolling, on production, or afterwards, what do you think was the most surprising challenge that you faced on this sequel that just maybe came up last minute and you were like, oh, I didn't expect that, or you never even thought to think about it?
Well, that's pretty easy actually. Getting the logs underwater was 17 million times harder than I ever expected, because I wanted them to surface from underwater.
Yeah.
And that was so difficult to do. There were a lot of people trying to figure out how to do it.
Did they just sink or like? Well, yeah. What did that like?
Because they are really hard to actually keep underwater because they want to go up.
Oh yeah.
And the strength you need to actually keep them underwater, it was way bigger than no one anticipated. So that was a really long day of doing that.
Hey, it worked out though. It looked great. So.
Yeah, with some VFX in the end. But
Well, thank you so much, sir. I really love the movie, and I look forward to everyone else getting to see it.